I just naturally assumed that with the amount of chickens and turkeys and options for feathers and ducks that there would be plenty of feathers that could be taken ethically, but that's seemingly not the case.
No, it's not the case, and quite often they are ripped from the animals while they are still alive and can feel pain. But even if they're not, we don't know that these animals have been in ethically sourced. We don't know if they've been in nice farms. We don't know if there's such a thing as a nice farm. We don't know if they've... You know, they might have been foie gras. And I feel like, as human beings, we're the guardians of the earth. That's our role. And so we should protect these animals from being harmed.
The feathers that we've got in the studio, they're not just yours, Liz, although I'm sure they would look great. They have been ethically sourced, apparently, but this is the concern, as Sarah Jane is saying.
And
if you don't know that the animals were dead before they were plucked, because they were going to be slaughtered for meat anyway, then surely we should be a lot more conscious about where the feathers are coming from.
Yes, well, I really appreciate everything you've said. However, we do have the British Poultry Council, and there are some of our major shops in this country, including M&S, IKEA, John Lewis, who sell huge quantities of duvets and these sort of puffer jackets and things. You will see they do announce that their feathers are all ethically sourced. I think it's wonderful that when something is brought to our attention, especially in this country, we then start to do something about it. You weren't aware of it. I have to say, I did see a video and I was horrified, but I don't know when that video was made.
And this is a video of some animals being plucked while they're still alive?
There was no name, no date. It could have been done 40 years ago, for all we know. This happens, but it brings it to our attention, which is great, because then we have councils set up who do something about it. And we do have wholesalers who take it seriously, because we as the public take it seriously.
I'm assuming you're vegan and you wouldn't eat meat or any products related to it, and that's your choice and that's you.
Yes.
But it's a varied world, isn't it? Many
Yes.
people have different tastes.
Yes.
And we can't assume that everyone wants to be like you,
No,
can we?
no.
And for instance, we've seen this with fake fur. First of all, there was the worry that actually some fake fur on the high street was in fact real fur, because it was cheaper to get real fur than make fake fur. Now there are new concerns that fake fur is actually very damaging to the environment. The process that they go through to make it makes it very damaging. So if people do want to wear things that they've worn for years, like fur, I mean, centuries, and feathers, are you just saying that they can't have that taste anymore? They can't feel confident?
If it damages animals and it's cruel, then I think why we don't need to. It's not a necessity. It is not a necessity to wear feathers. It's not a necessity to wear fur. Ladies used to wear foxes round their necks, and that was acceptable. If we don't look at these things, then we never move forward. Young children used to go up the chimneys. They don't now. It's not acceptable.
There are currently many tribes across the world where feathers are culturally very important. Would you go to them and tell them to stop wearing it?
But that's different, isn't it?
Why?
Because if they're ripping the feathers out of the animal while they're still alive, then absolutely not. I think the trouble is, in this country and in the Western world, we farm animals. And as you rightly said, we don't know. We don't know. And you brought up the fact that those, Marks and Spencer's and John Lewis, they all say it's ethically sourced. Well, there are shops like Boohoo and Topshop and Burton and I think Dorothy Perkins who have banned feathers completely. And that tells you something. If a big stores like that are banning feathers completely, then there must be something in it.
Most feathers are waste products from the poultry. There should be more pressure on companies to always source them without cruelty, while they're alive. But why would you want those things to go to waste?
I wouldn't want them to go to waste. I would prefer a world where we didn't eat animals. I know that's not realistic, and it's not, and people should have choices.
So if it's not realistic, Jane,
What would be your solution for those feathers?
If you understand that's not...
I think just ban it. Just get rid of the feathers. Just let's not take any risks, because also there would be a black market if you still have feathers.
We'd have landfills full of feathers, and then that would be a next problem. Or burning them.
Personally,
but are you going to ban silkworms, because millions
they're boiled
of those...
alive, though. They're boiled alive.
Are you going to ban wool, because sheep don't particularly like being sheared.
Again, they have...
Are you going to ban fish? Because fish are a bit like us. They're very sensitive. And when they're hauled in those nets, they suffer.
But
so where do you stop?
As human beings, we're supposed to progress. And you've only got to look at... Now we're finally looking at plastic. We're looking at plastic and we're going, actually, this is a terrible thing.
Which means that a lot of the synthetic products that vegans have been saying that they want to use are actually
So we shouldn't do that either. As
so
human
what
beings...
would you wear then? What clothes would you wear if you're worried about synthetics
Cotton.
and plastic? Cotton, OK. So it's all cotton.
Well, cotton, I don't know what else there is.
What would keep you warm? What would keep you warm at night,
I've
warm
got
in the
coats
winter,
that keep me warm,
living in cold climate?
I've got coats that keep me warm and they're not...
And what are they made of?
And we're now concerned about the planet because of so much synthetics. So what are you going to wear? You see the dilemma we get into?
I do see the dilemma, I do, but feathers are not the answer. And also, it's a bit weird and it makes me feel a bit queasy. It's a bit like, you know... I cut my toenails. Do you make a coat out of it? No, you don't.